types of magnetic materials based on their behavior in the presence of applied magnetic field. So coming to the behavior and their arrangement of dipoles in the presence of external magnetic field. So all the magnetic materials are classified into three kinds. Those are diamagnetic materials, paramagnetic materials, and ferromagnetic materials. And based on the spin of electrons, so we have another two types of classification. So those are nothing but antiferromagnetic materials and ferrimagnetic materials. So these two are the classification present in the ferromagnetic materials itself. So let us discuss each one now. So coming to the diamagnetic materials, so we have already discussed that in the previous session. So the net magnetism present in any material, so is the result of orbital momentum, magnetic momentum. Similarly, spin magnetic moment. Okay, so this is the total magnetism, magnetic moment present in any material is the sum of orbital magnetic moment as well as spin magnetic moment. So when we sum up those two, we will have net dipole moment. So if you consider in case of diamagnetic materials, so here in diamagnetic materials there are no dipoles at all. So that is why, so there is no net dipole moment. So whenever these kind of materials are kept inside the applied magnetic field, so all the electrons present in that diamagnetic materials will try to align in the opposite direction to the applied magnetic field. So as a result, these magnetic materials are repelled by the applied magnetic field. So here the materials which create an induced magnetic field in a direction opposite to an external magnetic field are generally known as diamagnetic materials. Since there are no dipoles present in them, so there is no net dipole moment. So when there is no net dipole moment, there is no chance of behaving like magnetic materials. So whenever these are kept inside the applied magnetic field, so those electrons will oppose the magnetic field which is created by the external magnetic field. So that is why these are generally repelled by the magnetic field. So the resultant magnetic moment of each and every individual atom is zero. And coming to the other properties of diamagnetic materials, so these have negative susceptibility. That means whenever they are kept inside the magnetic field, they don't allow magnetic lines of force to pass through them. So that is why they are nowhere magnetized. So that is why magnetic susceptibility is always negative. And their relative permeability is also less than unity. That means they don't allow magnetic lines of force, okay, so which act perpendicularly to the unit surface. So they don't allow magnetic lines of force through them. So if you can observe this in this figure. So these are the applied magnetic field, okay, in the direction perpendicular to the surface area of diamagnetic materials. So here if you observe this, they don't allow completely the magnetic lines of force through them. So whereas the magnetism is large outside the material than the inside. So that is why the relative permeability is less and the susceptibility is also negative. So the examples of these kind of diamagnetic materials are bismuth, copper, water, okay, so etc. So all these do not allow magnetic lines of force to pass through them. So as a result, they are repelled by the applied magnetic field. So next coming to the another classification, that is nothing but paramagnetic materials. So here paramagnetic materials exhibit weak magnetism in the direction of the applied magnetic field. So here, whenever we consider the net dipole moment due to the spin and orbital movement of electrons, so here these paramagnetic materials will possess some amount of net dipole moment, but the electrons present in the paramagnetic materials are arranged in random fashion. So that is why the net magnetic dipole moment is zero. But whenever they are kept inside the applied magnetic field, so they try to align in the same direction of the applied magnetic field. So that is why, so they have capability of possessing some amount of magnetism in the presence of applied magnetic field. But whenever the field is removed, so there is no chance of behaving like magnets. So that is why here paramagnetic materials will have weaker magnetism present in them. So here the resultant magnetic moment of individual atoms is not zero because they possess some amount of permanent magnetic dipole moment in them. So they have dipoles present in them. So that is why the net dipole moment before the application of external magnetic field is not zero. So whenever they are kept inside the magnetic field, so all these dipoles try to align in the same direction. So though they have weaker capacity, they try to arrange in the same direction of the applied magnetic field. So that is why they possess some amount of magnetism in them. So coming to the other properties of these paramagnetic materials. So these have less amount of susceptibility but positive since they have dipole moments present in them. So that is why they will have, so whenever they are kept inside the magnetic field, so they are able to possess some weak magnetism. So that is why the susceptibility of that materials is positive, and the relative permeability of these materials is always greater than 1, because whenever they are kept inside the magnetic field, so they allow some amount of the magnetic lines of force to pass through them. So that is why the relative permeability of these materials is greater than 1. So here you can see this process here clearly. So this is the applied magnetic field direction which is shown perpendicular to the unit surface area of paramagnetic materials. So these try to allow some amount of flux through them. So that is why they possess some weak magnetism in them. And the examples of paramagnetic materials are aluminum, platinum, gold, silver, chromium, etc. Okay, so these are all examples of paramagnetic materials. And coming to the another important process of paramagnetic materials and ferromagnetic materials are, so their ability depends upon the temperature. Okay, so whereas diamagnetic materials do not have any dipoles present in them, so there is no chance of temperature dependence in diamagnetic materials. But in paramagnetic materials and ferromagnetic materials, so their power of aligning themselves to the direction of applied field will vary with temperature. So if you look at the graph which is given here, so this is the graph between susceptibility versus temperature. So here the magnetic susceptibility is always inversely proportional to the temperature. That means whenever temperature increases, the susceptibility will decrease. Okay, so initially at lower temperatures, susceptibility is larger. So whenever temperature is increasing, so the susceptibility will decrease exponentially. So this means up to certain temperature, they will have capability of aligning themselves to the applied magnetic field. But if the temperature is gone increasing, the dipoles will lose their power of aligning themselves to the applied magnetic field. So that time the susceptibility will decrease. That means how much magnetization can acquired by the materials will be decreased, whenever temperature increases. So this was observed by the scientist Madame Curie. So that is why it is represented by the Curie's law. So in this law, so magnetic susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature. Chi is inversely proportional to 1 by T. So to replace that, we are going to take one constant that is known as C, which is known as Curie's constant. So this law is known as Curie's law, which tells the behavior of paramagnetic materials whenever they depend on temperature. Next, coming to the another magnetic materials, this is nothing but ferromagnetic materials. So these are the substances in which the resultant magnetic moments of individual atoms is not zero, and of course they align themselves in a parallel fashion by giving rise to spontaneous magnetization are nothing but ferromagnetic materials. That means, so ferromagnetic materials possess some amount of magnetic dipoles in them, and they have permanent magnetic dipole moment, and even in the absence of applied external magnetic field, they try to align themselves in a particular fashion, in a regular fashion. So whenever they are kept inside the non-uniform magnetic field, they align in parallel with the applied direction of magnetic field. So that is why they have strong magnetism present in them. So they will have spontaneous magnetization even in the absence of external magnetic field. That means once the ferromagnetic materials are magnetized, so though we remove the external magnetic field, they will possess magnetism in them. So this kind of property is applicable only for ferromagnetic materials. So hence ferromagnetic materials are used to create permanent magnets. So the examples of ferromagnetic materials are nickel, cobalt, iron and their alloys. So all these will possess permanent magnetism in them. And coming to the other properties of ferromagnetic materials are, so these have very high permeability. So mu r is very much greater than 1. And the susceptibility is also very high and positive. So susceptibility, the capability of acquiring magnetization is very high in case of ferromagnetic materials. So here you can see the dipole moments arrangement. So here all these arrow marks represent the arrangement of dipoles with respect to applied external magnetic field. So whenever the applied magnetic field is perpendicular to the surface of ferromagnetic materials, so all the dipoles present in the ferromagnetic materials will align in the same direction. That means they are parallel to the applied magnetic field. So this phenomena is clearly represented with the help of this graph. Okay. So here the allowing of flux is very much greater in case of ferromagnetic materials. So similarly, like paramagnetic materials, this alignment of dipoles dependent on temperature. So initially at lower temperatures, these will have greater capability of arranging themselves in a parallel direction to the applied magnetic field. But whenever temperature is increasing, slowly they will lose their capacity of aligning themselves to the applied magnetic field in parallel direction, such that they will be converted into paramagnetic materials as temperature raised below certain temperature. So that temperature where ferromagnetic materials will behave like paramagnetic materials is known as transition temperature or Curie temperature. Okay. So particular temperature ferromagnetic material becomes paramagnetic. So this temperature is known as Curie temperature. So below Curie temperature, so all the dipoles will have greater ability to align themselves parallel to the applied magnetic field. But whenever temperature is increased beyond that level, so they will lose the capacity to align themselves in the direction parallel to the applied external magnetic field. And at that time, so they will lose their stronger capacity of behaving like stronger magnets. So that is why they'll possess weaker properties of magnetism. So where they will behave like paramagnetic materials. So the susceptibility of the material above the Curie temperature is given by generally with the help of law known as Curie-West law. So here chi equal to C by T minus Tc. So where T is greater than Tc. Okay. So that means here also susceptibility is inversely proportional to the temperature. But below Curie temperature, the susceptibility is large and the materials will behave exactly like ferromagnetic materials. But beyond this temperature, beyond this transition temperature, they will lose the capability of their arrangement in parallel with the applied magnetic field, and hence they will behave like paramagnetic materials. So here you can see the differences between three types of magnetic materials. So first one is nothing but diamagnetic materials. So here these are the different dipole moments arrangements. Since in the diamagnetic materials there are no dipoles present in them, so the net dipole moment is 0. So all the dipoles are shown empty here. And whenever the spin of electrons, whenever we consider the spin of the electrons, whenever they are kept inside the external magnetic field, so all these will try to lie in the opposite direction to the applied magnetic field. So that is why they don't allow magnetic lines of force of external magnetic field to pass through them. So that is why there is no magnetization present in diamagnetic material. So here the relation between magnetic moment and magnetization is shown like so normal, linearly decrement moment we have shown here. So because the dipoles, okay, so the dipoles always oppose the external flux, so and hence the relation is like this, and their susceptibility is always negative and the relative permeability is always less than unity. And coming to the paramagnetic materials, so these have permanent magnetic moment present in them because of the dipoles present in the paramagnetic materials. But if you look at the direction before the application of external magnetic field, so all these dipoles arrange in random fashion as they wish. There is no particular order. But whenever they are kept inside the non-magnetic field, so all these dipoles try to arrange in regular fashion. That means in parallel with the applied external magnetic field. So and hence they possess weak magnetic properties. So here if you look at the graph between magnetic moment and intensity of magnetization here, so it is linearly increased. That means whenever the strength of applied magnetic field increases, their net dipole moment also will increase. So hence they try to behave like weak magnets. So these have positive susceptibility and its relative permeability is greater than 1. Now coming to the ferromagnetic materials, so all the dipoles, these have net dipole moment, okay. So but unlike paramagnetic materials, so the net dipole moment before the application of field will not become 0. Okay. So here They try to align themselves in regular fashion, even in the absence of external magnetic field. But whenever they are kept inside the external magnetic field, so they try to arrange themselves in the same direction of the applied magnetic field. So here the magnetization will exponentially increase with the the net dipole moment will exponentially increase with the applied field. So that is why the graph is shown like this. And these have the susceptibility is always positive and very large value compared to previous cases. And here the relative permeability is also very large and greater than EMD because they allow the magnetic lines of force to pass through them. Next, coming to the another two categories based on the spin of the electrons of each dipole with respect to the applied magnetic field. So we have two kinds of ferromagnetic materials. Those are nothing but anti-ferromagnetic materials and ferromagnetic materials. So first let us discuss what is anti-ferromagnetic materials. So these are the ferromagnetic materials in which the magnetic interaction between two dipoles align themselves in anti-parallel direction with each other. So you can observe this process here clearly. So this is the alignment of dipoles of individual dipoles with respect to each other. So here, if one dipole is arranged in parallel with the applied magnetic field, the other dipole will arrange in anti-parallel direction. That is why the net dipole moment of anti-ferromagnetic materials will become 0. So in the absence of applied magnetic field. So and if we consider their other properties, so since these are ferromagnetic materials, these will have some susceptibility which is not negative one, but it is positive one, but smaller value. So spin alignment is symmetric, but in anti-parallel manner. So that you can observe here clearly. So these will have same magnetic moment, but they are all arranged in anti-parallel direction. So that is why the net dipole moment will be 0 by the cancellation of these kind of spin movements. And the examples of anti-ferromagnetic materials are ferrous oxide, manganese oxide, and krypton trioxide, so etc. So these are the examples which behave like anti-ferromagnetic materials. And these also depend upon temperature because these are also ferromagnetic materials only. So here the variation is given by using this graph. Okay. So here the susceptibility is always inversely proportional to temperature. So beyond the transition temperature Tn, but before the transition temperature Tn, so it is directly proportional to the temperature. That means whenever temperatures are low, so the magnetic susceptibility will exponentially increase with respect to temperature. Okay. So after certain temperature Tn, which is known as Niels temperature, this is the transition temperature where these anti-ferromagnetic materials will try to behave like paramagnetic materials. So after this certain transition temperature called Niels temperature, they will lose their capability of behaving like ferromagnetic materials. So that is why their susceptibility will decrease exponentially with respect to temperature. So that is how these are related with the temperature. Next, coming to the another type of magnetic material, that is nothing but ferromagnetic material. So since it is also one of the kinds of ferromagnetic materials, they will have dipoles present in them. They have net dipole moment even in the absence of applied magnetic field. So here also the alignment of dipoles are anti-parallel but not equal values are possessed by them. That means, so if you see the arrangement, so one dipole is arranged in parallel with the applied magnetic field, another one is arranged in anti-parallel with the applied magnetic field. So, but these values are not similar. Okay, so that is why there is some net amount of magnetic moment present in them, even in the absence of applied magnetic field. So, since uh, there is no equality between two adjacent dipoles, so it will possess some amount of net magnetic moment in the absence of applied magnetic field itself. So that is why the susceptibility of these ferrimagnetic materials is positive always and very large for these materials compared to antiferromagnetic materials. So spin alignment is symmetric but in anti-parallel of different magnitudes. So this one. So this is symmetric but they will have not equal value. So they are in anti-parallel. So those values are not similar. So that's why they will possess some amount of net magnetic moment in them. So since no equal adjacent dipoles will have same value, so they will have certain net magnetic moment even in the absence of applied magnetic field. So these also depend upon the temperature. So here the dependence of susceptibility with respect to temperature is given by using this equation. So here also susceptibility is inversely proportional to temperature. That means at lower temperatures, so these materials will perfectly behave like ferrimagnetic materials. So that means their susceptibility will increase till certain transition temperature, which is known as TC, Curie temperature. And after that, they try to lose their susceptibility, and after at some other transition temperature known as Tn, which is called Neal's temperature, so they will lose their property of aligning themselves in parallel with the applied magnetic field. So their susceptibility will exponentially decrease at greater or larger values of temperature. So and they will finally behave like paramagnetic materials whenever they lose their magnetic susceptibility for the applied magnetic field. So the examples of ferrimagnetic materials are ferrites. Okay, so it should have the general expressions like this. Okay, Zn2 plus Fe to O4 and CuFe to O4. So these are zinc ferrites and copper ferrites. So which behave like ferrimagnetic materials. So here you need to remember that. So there are three main categories of magnetic materials based on their behavior in the presence of applied magnetic field. So if they are repelled by the magnetic field, they are known as diamagnetic materials. So if they try to attract towards the magnetic field, they are known as either paramagnetic materials or ferromagnetic materials. So paramagnetic materials will feebly or very less attractive to the applied magnetic field, whereas ferromagnetic materials will strongly attract towards the magnetic field. And based on the spin momentum of dipoles, so we have another two categories. So those are nothing but antiferro and ferrimagnetic materials, in which the spin of dipoles is anti-parallel with respect to each other.